Winter is just around the corner here in Canada, and look at all my stuff. It's already covered in snow. The issue is, my shed floor is packed. I have no place to put anything. Now I picked up one of these FLEXIMOUNT GL1, and we're going to put this thing to the test. So we're going to install it today, and we're going to move some of this big bulky stuff up into the sky. I mean, the ceiling, right? So I was quite impressed with the way they packaged this thing. It came with a template that you can use to put on the ceiling, which we're going to take and use. It also came with this cardboard tape, I guess you could call it, or masking tape. And surprisingly, this stuff is actually really strong. So first step, let's take that template and let's head over to the shed. Now, I've got a lean-to shed, which means we need to build an artificial arm on all four corners that comes a little bit down further so that we can create a perfectly flat surface to mount all of our brackets to. So I used some 2x6 and I mounted them on all four corners. And then I took my template and I actually slid it right through every 2x6. And then I found the perfect level and I used my speed square and then I chopped it to size. And honestly, I wasn't kidding about this tape. This stuff is insanely strong. I actually ripped the cardboard and I was able to glue this thing back together using that tape. Honestly, it is like fantastic tape. It's probably the best tape I've ever used. So take note of what it is. Try and find this on Amazon. I know I'll be buying a roll, that's for sure. I've got all four corners secured and my template is up. It's now time to move on to the brackets. So this one here is for the gearbox. These two brackets here are going to be mounted first. And I'm going to mount this right at the entry of the door so that I have my handle to move it up and down right at the entrance. And you'll see I've got my impact and my drill. Why? Because you want to make sure you drill a pilot hole before you put in those leg bolts. The other thing you need to make sure of is that once it's installed, there's absolutely no gap between the 2x6 and the bracket. It has to be flush, otherwise you're not going to have a good fit. Over to the garage, let's grab the gearbox. Now the gearbox is super easy to install. It's telescopic. You slide it in one way and then you slide it the other way. Make sure you take note of where you want that gearbox handle. For me, I put it right at the front because if it was in the back, I would be climbing over stuff in order to bring it up and down. Nice and clear, there's the gearbox handle. On both ends of the gearbox shaft, you have a screw and a nut. Make sure you secure those on both sides. You've also got two screws holding both brackets. You want to make sure it locks in the gearbox, and these are the screws you're going to use. Now let's move over to the other brackets. These are very simple. Using the leg bolts, put them in, and that's it. Now you're going to grab your wires. Take the shorter one, and you're going to just open it and run it down. And then take your longer one, and you're going to run it to the other side and down. Make sure you go through the pulley. All right, and here's the full setup. All four cables should be approximately the same length. Now, let's head back to the garage and pick up some more goodies. Now, we have to do a little bit of building when it comes to the platform itself. We've got the support brackets, and then we've got the grid. Now, make sure you pay attention to the sticker. It says this side up. Same goes for the bars. And what you're going to do is you're going to center that metal platform on the support bars, but you have to make sure that at each end you have one of the holes exposed. That hole there, and on the other end, that hole there, and on the other end, that hole there, and the fourth hole. And you're going to use these little J hooks with a nut, and that's what's going to hold it together. Once your platform is built, you're going to hook it onto all four cables, and that's it. That's all. It is a very simple install. You want to grab your handle, remove the lock, and then you're going to hook it in place. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Right goes up and left goes down. Very simple. Now, in order to finish the install, you're going to take your handle and put in one screw. That gives you a manual handle. But if you're like me and want to use your drill, because it makes it 10 times faster, you can do that. That's an 8mm socket, for reference. Now, I'm not sure if it's rated for this, but I have used it about 20 times now, up and down, and I have had no issues at full speed. And look how much faster it is. You can go down and up, even when it's fully loaded with weight. I'm honestly quite impressed. This thing is of solid quality, no joke. And just like that, I was able to put up all the bulky items that I had on the floor, and look how much room it saved me. I'm actually able to walk into my shed now, and all this stuff is stored up in the ceiling where I'm never going to be anyway. So the GL1 from FLEXIMOUNTS, I rate it.